Welcome to Conversations with Chris. I'm Chris, and with us today is Shubei Zhang. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Chris. It's very nice to meet you.
We're going to dive right into it. We did chat a little bit off. Now, you were in China doing performing arts, then you went to Chicago, you had that opportunity, and now you're in Canada.
Yeah.
Okay, three completely different things. Tell me, from China to Chicago to Canada, what are your experiences like? What are those differences for you now that you're here?
I would say Canadian market and American market are pretty similar, though there are still like differences. But Chinese market is very different. That is very distinct. Like the process of auditions and also the whole process of choosing the talent and what they are looking at the talent is very different in China. And I did actually do much in China because I studied in US. When I was 18 years old. So I completed my bachelor's degree in acting from Chicago. Yeah, and then after that, I moved to Canada and I went to University of Windsor. Actually, I had a 10 years gap. Like for those 10 years, I didn't actually do much related to acting, but recent years I have just restarted because I again feel like, no, this is what I'm passionate about and I'm good at. So yeah, I just restarted, which I'm glad.
So when we talk about acting and you've restarted, what has driven you to come back to the acting industry?
Uh, Actually, what made me quit the industry was, the reality, so-called hard realities in life. Like you needed a stable income, right? And you need a very, stable career. Like that is like easy to get on hand. So, but yeah, after graduation, so I actually went through many auditions. But this industry is very competitive. And then due to many of these personal reasons, I was not very sure about my future. But recent years, as myself aging, I realized that it is important to have a passion in life. It is important to live a life, not to just survive a life. So that's why I again started, because I have a full-time job right now. On top of that, I'm also doing full-time acting. So I have a stable income and I again feel alive now because performing art for me, it developed my vision, and it always helped me to think outside of the box at every walks in life. Yeah, so it is a very important part of my life.
So when we talk about acting and you're back in it, and that's awesome, and you left because we all find very similar to exactly what you said. We need a stable income. They're not paying the bills as well, and it is crazy competitive.
Yes.
When I'm going to ask you this question, and I asked you offline, you said it was okay. In your experience, when you're going into the auditions, do you ever find yourself a hint of microaggression? Do you ever feel that you're there just so that a company can check a box type of thing?
To be honest, always. This is the feelings that I always have, especially at the beginning of the early couple of years when I just started this. I always felt that way because back in 2012, the industry was not that diversified. There wasn't so much diversity in the industry, and so the roles I could submit myself for was very limited. That if they were looking for like Asian or specifically Chinese or sometimes Korean or Japanese, only that I could apply. And those opportunities were very few. Yeah, so every time I walked into audition room, I always felt that, okay, so I'm here because they needed a Asian face. They need an Asian actor, a Chinese actor, who could speak Mandarin. Yeah, so that's why I'm here. So it um shattered. I also shattered my confidence. Yeah, kind of But recent years, I have gained more confidence, and also the industry is getting more and more diversified, and they are in need more racialized people, I would say. Yeah. So yeah, now I don't feel that way anymore. So because I also I submit myself to all types of roles. Yeah, because nowadays usually the castings, they don't specify which race that they're looking for or which ethnicity they're looking for. Just all ethnicity welcome. So it makes people feel much better in that way. Yeah.
And what is your take on the audition process? What does Shubei do when you get that breakdown and says, "Okay, great, this is what I need from this character"? What does that process look like for you to do the audition and bring that to life?
Yeah, first of all, I have a representation. Yeah, I have an agent that represents me. I feel this is important because with the agent, your agent know what type of roles would fit you the best. Yeah, then he will submit you to the roles. Then you get audition. Then that's when you will get the audition brief, that with details on the character and the job, and also the script for you to prepare. Yeah, that is when you will start looking into this character. For me, I would say I would always read the entire script. Yeah, I would always read it in its entirety so that I have a complete and deep understanding about the story, yeah, and about the script, and also about the emotion, the personality of the character. Yeah, then I would dig into details, like at each scene, that what was the scenario, like what was the time, the scenario, the tradition, the culture behind the scene. Yeah, and then I would really work on each lines of the character. Then I would also do a couple of tapes at home to practice and see how it looks in front of camera. Yeah, then because now things are a little bit different from how it used to be pre-pandemic. Now we send our self-tapes online. So it's good in a way that you can always retake. Like, right. So yeah. So it does require a lot of preparation before you tape yourself, because there is always a callback. Usually callback means that the director wants to see you live, and then you have to just one tape, you have to pass it, right? You kind of say that, okay, now I'm gonna redo it. Yeah. So it is always good to prepare in advance.
It's that really neat thing of eco casting that you're referring to, where it used to be show up to the casting office, right?
Right, right.
You would sign in, you'd wait your turn, and then you'd go in and you would cross those fingers and really hope for it. And now, myself included, you're in the basement, you're in a closet somewhere, you're recording yourself, you're reviewing it. Now you have to edit it properly. You have to make sure there's no distractions and kids and dogs and doorbells ringing, and
Exactly.
it really throws you for a loop for sure.
Yeah, that's why I always do it when my kid is at school. That's easier for me always. Like in the morning, like before 2:50, that's the time I pick up my child. Always I get it done before that, then the room is quiet. Yeah.
So when we look at the never-ending auditions and we look at and I hate to go doom and gloom with it, but the amount of rejection that actors in the industry face, when we know that there's no I'm going to say the wrong word, consolation, to say, this is why you didn't get it. How do you deal with the rejection? What are your processes to say, hey, that's okay, next one, here we come?
Oh, the reality is that if you go to 100 auditions, you might just hear back from one, and that's just a callback. It doesn't mean you are booked. And the worst scenario is that you might never hear back from anybody. And what I want to stress is that this is very normal, especially when you are at the early stage of your acting career. This is very, very normal, because this is a very a crazily competitive industry. The mindset I have, like from my perspective, is that once I'm done with the audition, I forget about it. It's gone, right? You have done your best, then now it's the time to move on. And don't assume that you are booked, and don't wait for a callback or don't wait for feedback, because they're usually not a feedback. And also, it is very important, I believe, for an actor to think this way, that, oh, it is our job to do auditions, not to get booked. Because each audition is a free opportunity for you to showcase your work in front of the industry professionals. And this experience itself is invaluable, and this will eventually lead you to bookings. So I would suggest actors to be really, really really patient on themselves, and always celebrate themselves. Every time after an audition, or if you get a callback, always celebrate. That is the mindset that I have.
I like what you said. You're going to get rejected. You go for 100 auditions, maybe one person calls you up and says, "Hey, I'd like to see you again." And that is the reality of the industry that we're in. And, you sit there and say, "Hey, the audition is done. It's out of my mind. If I get a call back, it's back in my mind. I do it again." And then it's just celebration and patience. And I like how you said you're there to do the audition. You're not there to do the movie or the show or whatever it is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Be a really good auditioner and make sure that it's impressionable, right?
Yes. Because this process is what every actor is gonna go through. Nobody can skip this, this period of time. Yeah, it is very, like, people usually feel like very devastated. Oh my God, I have done like a couple hundreds auditions and never heard back. Sometimes not because you're not good enough or you are like a lack of skills. Sometimes it's just you're not the person that they're looking for. Probably you're not the best fit for the character. Yeah, and it will come eventually if you just don't give up, and yeah, just keep trying. Yeah, that's what I went through, and then I ended up booking like commercials and short films. Yeah.
So how do you, in this world of instantness, right? We have Instagram, we have TikTok, we got all those things where we can constantly like and comment, and then you get that, dopamine rush of, oh, look, someone liked my post. And as actors, we're constantly in that, that state of, well, why didn't I get the call back? And I thought I did a really good job. Can you give me feedback? Well, why can't you do it? So it's really neat. So has there been an audition or a role that you went for that you were like, this is for me, I got it, it's mine, and it just didn't happen?
Oh, I would say 95 to 99% that was the case. Yeah, and again, it is pretty normal, right? Because everybody, whoever goes to that audition thinks this way. Yeah, they are a potential fit for this role. That's why they're in that audition room, just like you, right? So again, just take it easy, take it easy. If you think this role is made for you, there will be a bunch of roles that are made for you, and you will be getting it someday. Yeah, it is very lengthy process. Yeah, this is a very lengthy process, and one of the very important things I believe is to keep your training up to date. Yeah, so that you get more opportunities to actually audition, because just like the other fields, the other industries, right? You have to have a very good resume, beautiful resume, so that they actually want to meet you. Yeah, many actors, they don't know. They don't know that once they submit their resume to the casting, or their agent submit the resume to the casting, and the profile picture, that your headshot is always pasted at the back of the resume, which means that the casting will first see your resume, your experience, and your education background. Yeah. After that, if they're interested in that, only then they will flip the resume and see your headshot. Yeah, so it's very important to just keep training.
So when we talk about training, and I've gone through those weekend warrior workshops of, hey, you did a great job, and you get 20 minutes, right? Has there been any type of training, or is there a specific training that works for you? Is there an acting coach that you say, hey, this is the person that I use, or hey, that workshop really opened my eyes? Can you speak to that? Is there anything like that that's happened for you?
Yeah, of course. I'm currently with Second City. I believe most of the actors have heard of it. They are like a comedy school, but they also provide like improv classes. And their improv classes has 5 levels, improv 1 to improv 5, and this program is what every actor takes. Yeah, in this not I would say Canadian market is very reputable program. And this is here comes to the point that agent is important because you should I would say you should always go to their coaches and their schools that are referred by your agent, because many are they're all good, but many are just not that as effective as good as the other ones. So your agent should be able to refer you to the places or coaches that you should be taking courses at. Yes.
So if you have an agent, say, hey, Mr. Agent, Mrs. Agent, what are classes or coaches or whatever that you recommend to help me become better, to be more successful, make you guys more money ultimately?
Yeah, exactly. Usually, after agent signs you, the agent will send you the list of schools and coaches that the agent will suggest you to go to. Yeah, so I received that list the first day I signed my agent. Yeah, so it is not mandatory, but um,
Everything helps.
yeah, but if you really want to stand out the crowd, you have to have your resume up to date. You have to have your training up to date so that you get auditions. If you don't do that, your agent, it gives a signal to your agent that you are not active. Yeah, that you're not making progress.
So is there a project that you're currently working on, a script or film, TV, commercial that you can share with us?
The most recent project I worked on was a CIBC campaign. Yeah, yeah. And recently I'm just working on auditions. So I have got a couple more auditions that I haven't done. Yeah, and the most recent film project I completed was a short film called The Time You Left. Yeah, and that was screened downtown, and it was also screened at a couple of film festivals in Vancouver and here in Toronto. Yeah, so this is pretty much what I'm up to. So, and recently my goal is to complete my improv 3 class with Second City, and I really look forward to that because after this, I believe I'll be getting more auditions.
Good. And
Yeah.
where can people learn more about you? Can they follow you on social media? Can you put your Instagram or Facebook so people can find you?
Yeah, this is for everyone. If you'd like to like connect with me or have questions about me or this industry, so you're welcome to check out my Instagram account. Yeah, so I'm on Instagram, which is Shubei Zhang. Shubei as my first name, Zhang as my last name, the 9052.
And do you have any words of advice and motivation, something that is special to you that you can relay to everyone out there that says, for me, I would say, keep going at it, right? You never know what's going to happen. Keep going at it. What's the motivation quote that you can give us?
Definitely, I'm totally with you. Keep going. That's as simple as that. So, I feel like art won't give you its most like it won't give you the maximum benefit if you are not devoting yourself wholeheartedly to it. Like if you have so much hesitation, like so much concerns in life, right? You cannot actually enjoy it and be the best version of yourself in terms of creativity, right? In terms of comprehension of the roles of the characters. You really have to set your mind free. Yeah, that being said, is that yeah, face the reality, take care of whatever you have to take care in life, like get a job to support your life. But in order to live a life, you shouldn't give up your passion. This is a very amazing thing to do. It really gives you a lot of like enjoyment, and it really helps you to see the more beautiful side of the world. And most importantly, what I like most about this performing art is that it gives me opportunity to experience different lives through portraying the characters. Yeah, so don't give up. Take one step at a time. Just enjoy every step in this career. Enjoy everything you do. Don't get frustrated, or yeah, always feel fascinated about every little steps. Yes.
I love that. It's get excited over every little step. The email or text comes in, says, hey, you have an audition, get excited. Read the breakdown, get excited. Do the audition, get excited.
Actually,
Get the call back.
Yeah, you need to be excited. Oh, it's very easy to give up because it's just so competitive. I just don't know how to describe it, but yeah, I just keep going. Yeah.
So I have time for one last question for you.
Yeah, sure.
What makes Shubei Zhang smile?
Well, there are so many things that make me smile in life. Yeah, I'm not sure if you realize this or not. As we grow, uh, there are not much things that can make us real happy in life, which is a very bad thing. So I'd like to go back to my childhood time. Like I'm trying, yeah, to be like my daughter, you know. Yeah, so I get excited when I get audition. I get happy. I smile when I see my child is playing piano, which was she's passionate about. And I also get happy when I cook something good for my family, right? Or just simply when I walk with my friend on the street, that makes me smile. So every little things in life should be able to bring joy to life. Yeah.
That's amazing and well said. That's all the time we have today. Again, everyone, reach out on Instagram to find Shubei Zhang on Instagram. Get excited for the auditions. Get excited with your agent. Get excited for classes. Check out Second City.
Let's
I've been your
celebrate.
host, Chris, with Conversations with Chris. Have a fantastic day and smile to inspire. Thank you, everyone.